Let's say you're running a BJJ Academy and you want to figure out if what you are doing is working. Or let's say it's working, but you want to figure out how to improve it. What do? Well, there's a very simple equation that you can use to help you find out what's working within your academy, what you need to improve, and how to do it. Okay, the equation is traffic times conversion equals success. Super simple. But it's incredibly powerful once you understand it. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples to help do that. So the first one is probably one of the most obvious when we're talking about traffic and conversion. It's the number of inquiries to the show up rate is going to equal the number of trials that we end up with. So let's say that you have 10 people inquire about classes and book trial lessons, and then only 50% of those show up. That means that you've got 5 people actually coming in for your trials. Now, if you want to improve that, you have a couple of different options. Firstly, you can get more traffic. So rather than 10 people inquiring about trials, you could have 20 or 30 or 40. And let's say that you managed to get 100, but you still kept the same conversion rate. Well, you've gone from 10 trials to 100, but you still have a 50% conversion rate. That's going to lead to 50 trials. Your other option is you try to improve the conversion. So again, back to our 10 trials that we had, or 10 people inquiring, if you improve that conversion to, let's say, 80% of people that attended your classes, you've got 10 times 80, which is 8 people show up. Okay, and then obviously we could do the both at the same time. So we could have 100 people inquire about trials. We can have, or book trials. We could have 80% of those actually turn up for the thing, and that means you're going to have 80 people who attend their session. Okay, it's really powerful. And obviously the ways that we can improve our traffic is by getting more eyes on our website. We could use things like Facebook advertising. We could do a better job on our social media. In terms of improving our conversion when they're going to the trial, we need to have a really good, a campaign once they book a class. We need to be able to, a good way of, talking to them on the phone, finding out what they're interested in, developing that relationship so they feel comfortable coming into your academy. It's pretty obvious. Another one that's maybe a little bit less obvious, but still really important is how many beginners go from your beginners program to your main classes. Let's assume that you have a beginners program and not just a generic class. Well, let's say take the same example. Let's say that we have 50 people who start your beginners program. So they come in, they try a class, they enjoy it, they sign up for your beginners program, but only 10 of those people go on to being in your regular classes. That means that you have only a 20% conversion rate. Or to put it another way in like martial arts terms, you have an 80% attrition rate, which is pretty bad. And again, it leads you to have the same options that you had before. You can, if you want to increase or improve your success of your program or the success of your academy as a whole, you could get way more people to start classes. So you could increase that to 100. That way, if you still stick with your 20% conversion from beginner into your main program, you're going to end up with 20 people rather than 10. Or you can try and improve the number of people who start your beginners program and end up in your main thing. And if we can switch that up to 80, if we, like we did in our previous example, we can have 50 people who start the beginners program. That means that 80% of the convert, which is 40, end up joining your main program, which is great for the success of your business. Or again, we could do both. Okay, so we could up 100 people starting, and then we could have 80% converting, which means that we'd have 80 in our main program. Hopefully you're kind of seeing how this works and why it's important. And obviously we have to put things in place that adjust those different elements. So how are we going to get more people to join our beginners program? We're going to improve our sales process. We could have more people attending trials, which you talked about before. And then how could we get more people going from our beginners program to our main program? Well, that's going to be things like making sure they're comfortable in the academy. We could, give them video curriculums, for example. We could try a different process to help them go from being in a beginners class to our main classes. Okay. Now, one final example. Let's say that you want to sell gis. How many gis do you sell on an average month to your students? Okay. Let's say that you get 4 people who inquire about gis, you manage to sell 2. That means that you've got a 50% conversion rate again. It means you're going to sell 2 gis. Okay, cool, brilliant, you've sold 2 gis. How could you then go about improving that? It's exactly the same way. We could increase the number of people that are inquiring about gis. We could then improve our purchase rate. So rather than just a 50% conversion, we could have a 75% conversion, which is 3 people buying gis. Okay. And again, the same process applies. Let's say that we wanted, more people to inquire about gis. Well, we could run like a gis sale. We could have gis visible up in our gym. We could do a special promotion on gis. We could do all kinds of different things to increase that traffic or that volume of people that are interested in buying gis. Okay, so as you can see, this is a really simple idea, but it is incredibly important. And our goal throughout all of our business is to recognize these different areas and then look at how we can improve them. What are the major things that are going to have a massive impact on our business? So if we take the different examples that we had, the number of gis that we sell probably isn't going to have a dramatic impact on our business. Okay, we only have a limited volume. But the number of people that attend our trials, okay, and the number of people that then convert to paying customers or convert to long-term customers after doing a beginner's program is going to have a massive impact. And what we can do is focus on those things individually. And for the majority of cases, the best way to think about it is through conversion. Conversion is the best place to start, because once you get that conversion rate high, it's much easier to then kind of flood it with more traffic. It kind of doesn't make sense to have, a low conversion rate, 10% of people, and do all the hard work of getting new people in and all that kind of stuff. It's much easier to do it the other way around, much more efficient as well. So that's our equation for success, and hopefully you can see how it's going to have a big impact on your business as a whole. If you've got any questions, pop them below and I'll be happy to answer them.